Hi, welcome to the new lecture on software testing. In this video, we will look into the various terminologies that are used for testing. Before going into the video, I shall make it clear that this video is intended only for the academic purpose and not for any business use. The various terms that are used in software testing are errors, faults, failures, validation, verification, and test cases. We shall look into this in detail in the upcoming video. What is an error? Error is also called as a mistake, or it is a misconception or misunderstanding on a part of a software developer. Who detects this error? These errors are being detected by the developers. The errors are classified into various types. We will look into some of the common errors that occurs in a software testing. The first type of error is syntactic error. This syntactic error occurs due to a misspelled word or due to a grammatically incorrect sentence. When you look into this example, this consists of three buttons: button yes, button no, and button cancel. When you look into it, the spelling of the button cancel is being misspelled. So this comes under the category of a syntactic error. The next category of error is the calculation error. This calculation error occurs when there is a bad logic or incorrect formula, or when there is a data type mismatch, or due to a coding error, or due to some functional call issues. The next category of error is a flow control error. The flow control is a software that describes what to do next. When you look into this example, it consists of three buttons: save all, close, and save and close. When you just click on save and close, the operation that is being performed need to be saved and then it should be closed. When it is proceed in such a way, then it is a normal flow. When it does not save or it does not close, then it is categorized as flow control error. Defects are another terminology that are frequently used in software testing. So defect can also be called as a fault or a bug. What is a defect? A defect is an error that is found after an application goes into the production stage. Or in other words, we can say the difference between the expected result and the actual result is called as the defect. When these defects are found, or who finds the defect? These defects are found by the testers during the testing phase. These defects are classified into various types. We shall discuss some of the basic types of defects. One such type is a latent defect. These are the hidden flaws in a software which is not identified by the user until the operation is not performed. One such kind of latent defect is a default printer operation. Assume that you have a printer and installed with two type of printer drivers. One is a laser printer, another one is a dot matrix printer, where the laser printer is being set as a default one. When you just perform a print operation, it should defaultly print using the laser printer. When this print operation does not happen, then it is called as a latent defect. Category of defects is a masked defect. This defect does not cause any failure because it is covered or masked by another defect. One such kind of example is a page navigation issue. In a page navigation, when there is a defect in one page, it prevents the team and move to the other one. The next category of defect is defect cascading. So when a defect is not identified during the testing, the defect will, the help of the other defects will multiply and crop up in the later stages. So those kind of defects are called as defect cascading. One such example is, so when you make a small mistake in computing the salary of a person, so that will not only affect his salary computation, it also been reflected in the balance sheet. It also reflects in tax calculation and also in annual summary calculation, where one particular defect is being cropped up into multiple defects. Failure is another terminology which is used frequently in software testing. So what is a failure and when does this failure occurs? Failure occurs when the software fails to perform in the real environment, or it could be termed as an observable incorrect behavior of the system. When this failure occurs, or when this has been observed, or who observes this failure. So these failures are being observed by the customer. These failures occur when there is any physical damage or overheating in the hardware, which can also lead to fail the whole system. Or if the software is not compatible with the hardware, then in that case also the failure occurs. The failure also happens due to the environmental conditions like the radiation burst, or due to the strong magnetic field, electronic field, or pollution could also cause defect in software or hardware. The verification and validation are the major two terminologies that are frequently used. So verification could be termed as, are we building the system right? Or in other words, you can say verification ensures that the system developed is error free and is without defect. We should be clear that when the system is error free or is without defect does not mean that the entire system requirement is being satisfied. Where, in other words, validation says, are we building the system right? Or the validation ensures that the system is delivered as per the requirement of the customer. We shall look into the basic difference of what is validation and verification. Let us look into the difference between validation and verification by considering a real-time example. Assume that you go to a hotel and order a butterscotch milkshake, which is your favorite one. Once the order has been delivered to you, you just look into that, the color and the aroma that the order makes, and also since it is a butterscotch, you look for some butterscotch toppings into it, and you may confirm that the order that you received is a butterscotch milkshake. This is called as a verification, where you have an overview of the system or an overview of the order that you have received, and you confirm that this is the thing that you require. And we should know that this verification is not alone confirm that it is a 100% milkshake, because you have not tasted it. Let us see how. Once you have confirmed that this is the butterscotch milkshake using the outer look, what if the taste varies when you taste it? That makes really a difference. So, tasting the milkshake and confirming it whether it is a real or it is a fake is called as validation, where you go in depth, where you taste it and then you confirm whether it is a milkshake or not. It's called as validation. So, when you combine both, difference between validation and verification is having an overview of what is happening, and then confirming is called as verification. When you go in depth and when you test it, and that is called as validation. Let us consider another example to differentiate validation and verification. In this, we use a user interface as an example. Consider the menu buttons that are present in the user interface. You look three different menus where one button denotes yes, one button denotes no, and one button denotes a misspelled cancel. So what is a validation here and what is a verification here? So in this case, determining and updating the syntactic error, that is the misspelled word cancel, is called as verification, where you just have an overview of what is there in that and you provide a solution for it. What is validation? Where it ensures that when you click yes, it saves the document, or when you click no, it discards the document, or when you click cancel, the operation will get cancelled. If it is happening correctly, then it is called as validation. Let us see what is a test case. A test case is an input to test the system, or in other words, test case is to ensure the correct working of the functionality by executing the program elements. The program elements may include preconditions or postconditions or test procedures. And also test cases is used to determine the state of the software. Let us look the example of how to write a test. Assume that we want to write a test case to check and validate the password having 7 characters, with the first character to be numeric and the remaining character to be alphanumeric. A tabulation has been made with the columns, a test case, input value that you give, and the expected result for that particular input value, and the actual result, and what is the test outcome. When you look into the case 1, which is a positive case, where you input 4 TEST64. First character is a numeric one which satisfies the need, and then followed by the 6 alphanumeric character. The expected result for this case is the password should accept and proceed to login. The actual result is also assuming the password has been accepted. So when both expected and actual results are satisfied, then the test outcome is passed. Look into the second case, which is an example of negative case, where the input value is not as per the requirement. The first character is not a numeric. So the expected the password should not accept. But actually the password is been accepted for this particular input value. This shows that the test case is been failed and it is mismatched. When you look in case 2, the test case failed because of the first character should be numeric. Now let us brush through the concept that we have seen so far by attending the quizzes. Identify the type of error that is shown in this message. This belongs to the category of syntactic error. When you look into the command that is being displayed on the message, the video card does not found. Please affirm the install of video card. This is a syntactic error. The next question. Consider the software development model that is displayed and identify in what phase of development does this testing takes place. When you look into it, the testing is carried out in coding phase and in testing phase. In coding phase, the unit testing is being done, whereas integration and system testing is done at the testing phase. In the next question, consider the same software development model and let me know where the verification takes place. The verification takes place in requirement stage, also in design stage, and also in the coding stage. Consider the same development model and let me know where the validation takes place. The validation takes place only in the testing phase, not in any other phases. Some of the reference materials that used for these lectures. Bye for now. Bye bye for now. See you on the next video.